Hello, good evening and welcome, folks. Welcome to a little bit of biblical relief. Biblical relief, I say, because yes, it is biblical and it is relief. It's heavenly relief from Lord God Almighty. Now, I haven't studied theology and I don't profess to be a minister at all. I'm just wanting to push myself to read the Bible as much as I can. So in between going to church on Sundays and Saturdays, if I'm helping out the Seventh-day Adventurers, I go to Anglican on Sundays because I am Anglican, but I was born a Catholic, but I renounced that in 2019 for some very, very good reasons, following all the pedophilia in the news. I know an Anglican church hasn't got much better record, but I had to make a stand and I had to make it known that if I'm to change church, I'm going with a church that has been long in my ancestry, and the Church of England is all over my family tree. Reverend Stanhope was at Gawsworth for 40 odd years and Cheshire for another 20 years. He's my second great grandfather. He was the son of the Lord Protector of Ireland, who was General Charles Stanhope, and up the line to Henry Fitzroy, who was the son of King Charles II and Barbara Villiers. He was killed storming Cork. And anyway, I've got a long line of Church of England people in the family tree, and I would like to force myself to get more acquainted with the Bible. I've been a little bit of a wayward Christian, we might say, in my 60 odd years in life so far. I have made something of a commitment to Reverend Jesse at the Anglican Church in Scone to do what I can to help him, in as much as doing readings and stacking chairs after services and pottering around helping people and hearing other people's problems. And I'm looking forward to that, actually. I do have something within my soul that wants to help other people. And so I'm just putting your minds at ease that I'm not pretending to be someone I'm not, in terms of a church minister or a pastor or even a lay minister or a lay pastor. That's not what I'm about. I'm just wanting to share with you my little struggle in reading the Bible and getting through it. And I want to start it not at the beginning, as where most people would logically start. I want to start where I find it's easiest. And I've already had a crack at James, the book of James, because it's so short. I did that last week. Now I'd like to have a crack at Hebrews. It's about 3 times as long as James, maybe more, but it's not as long as the other books. And it was recommended to me by one of my first bosses at Blacktown City Council. I think I shared this story with you when I did the James reading. This chap, I've forgotten his name, but there was 3 of us who were trainee auditors, and he kept on bashing his gums about, you got to read the book of Hebrews. Read the book of Hebrews. Have you read the book of Hebrews yet? And I thought, geez, give me a break. You know, I was 21, 22 in those days, and trust me, the Bible was the last thing on my mind back then, because my father was an atheist, and my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, was a communist. So good for me that in my early 20s I resisted my father's urgings not to believe in God, to at least be agnostic. I was neutral for many, many years. And then as I got married and started having kids, I realised that there's no harm in having an open mind, at least, and letting the children grow up and make up their own minds via putting them through private education, Catholic preschool right through to year 12. Cost us a pretty penny, but it was worth it, I believe. And so attendance was my only commitment in those years as a father and a husband. which I argue is better than nothing, better than sleeping in on Sundays and not giving the children a chance to enjoy the sunlight that is Lord God Almighty. So without any further ado, I would like now to read the book of Hebrews from this lovely Bible that Steve Mackey gave me. Can you see that? It says Life Application Study Bible, and I want to do Bible studies. And he gave this to me. I'll tell you when Steve gave this to me. I think it was 1997, if memory serves me right. In North Sydney, we had a lovely dinner together at a restaurant. We hadn't seen each other, I think, for something like 12 years. And it was just great. We used to work together in 10-pin bowling, promoting 10-pin bowling nationally, and tournaments like the South Pacific Classic and the Bowling World Cup when it came to Sydney in 1984. Anyway, here's a nice letter from Steve, who gave me this lovely leather-bound Bible. I reckon it would have cost $250 back then. Today, it's probably worth, maybe $1,000. Anyway, Steve Mackey is one reason why I'm a conservative Christian and an open-minded one at that. And but I'm not a person that goes around trying to convince people, hey, come to church on Sunday or come to church on Saturday. What are you doing? I'm a great believer in just letting people be. And, if people find out what you're doing on Sunday and why you're not available to go to the beach or whatever, they might want to say, hey, mind if I tag along? And that's the way to do it, people. Get people who genuinely want to invite themselves to church. That's the way to do it, in my humble. Getting back to why I renounced the Catholic Church and went to the Anglican Church, good point. I did mention the pedophilia in the Catholic Church that was just absolutely disgusting, and to a lesser degree, but equally concerning, the Anglican problems. The reason I decided to go with Anglicans in converting, and I've already been blessed, by the way. I've had my I've been baptised, at St Aloysius at Cronulla when I was a little baby. And I was confirmed by Cardinal Clancy at St Mary's Cathedral in Sydney in 1988, just before we got married. And got married in St Mark's Church, Drummoyne, a Catholic church, in 1988. That was, when was that? Reags, you should know that. August 20. That's right, August 24 was when Daniel was born. Not that year, 2 years later. But anyway, so the reason I switched to Anglican, I found their system of teaching the Bible democratic, and as you know, I'm very much promoting democracy as opposed to fascism or autocracies. And I see the Catholic Church as definitely not a democracy. It's very much an autocracy, where you'll do it our way or it's the highway. And I chose the highway after 60 odd years. Plus, I had this wonderful service at the Westminster Abbey in 2019, where the minister got up in front of maybe 1,500 parishioners, including me, in May 2019, and we all prayed for Prime Minister Theresa May on that day, because she was on her last weeks as Prime Minister, poor thing, having done all she possibly could for breakfast. That's the second time I've made that boo-boo in separate videos. Brexit. And so I was touched by the manner in which everybody left their politics at the door and prayed sincerely and fervently for the good health and the good mental health in making decisions of Prime Minister Theresa May. And I thought, we need more of this at churches around Australia. And so I'd never encountered that at Catholic churches. But be that as it may, I'm now going to the Anglican church services in Scone. So if you want to catch me on a Sunday, I'm usually at the contemporary meeting at 10:30, although I don't like the Lord's Prayer done contemporary. I prefer the traditional version, but I've got to get up early to go to the 8:30 service apparently for that one. And by crikey, if I find out that they're doing the modern version of the Lord's Prayer at the traditional service, I will have severe words with them. Anyway, I didn't get around to... I haven't done my Hebrews yet. We'll have to do that in another video. But here's this lovely letter from Steve Mackey to me on the 26th of May 1997. Here it is. Okay, and you can see signed down the bottom. And it says, not, underline, not a chance meeting, you and I. Sorry, he says, Dear Regan, because that's my name. Dear Regan, not, underlined, a chance meeting, you and I. Please accept this very readable Bible as my gift to your eternity, your underlined, and hopefully through your understanding and wisdom, the eternity of your dad, mum, and all your current and future family. Say hi to your wife. Hope all is well. Regards, Steve. Now, how good is that? And it is a very readable Bible because this particular one does give explanations as to what the complicated passages mean, or what is the common interpretation thereof, because some of them nobody really knows what the things mean. But anyway, we struggle on as best we can. Look, I'm sorry, I've waffled on for 12 minutes and we haven't even got into the book of Hebrews. But please come back. We'll do the book of Hebrews in our next video. Until next time, dear people, live long and prosper, and may the good Lord carry you gently.